Okay, welcome back. This is another game in our second round of, this is going to be a round of 8. And it's going to be actually another guy who was there right at the beginning of the stream. I think he showed up my second day of the stream to start. He's also in my clan that I ended up joining a couple days after I first started talking to him. But I had the idea to do this coaching thing, and he was interested, so I gave him some tips. And I actually played him yesterday, and he just mopped the floor with me. So I can tell he's improving already. So my ZVZ is pretty terrible, but in any case, he's improving anyways. And top left is somebody I don't know, spawning as this pink Terran. I think this is somebody's friend that was invited to the tournament. So I think he is Bronze League. So I think this will be bronze versus bronze. I don't think Haszero's been promoted to silver yet, but I could be wrong. And if he has, then I apologize for the insult. So, just drone it up. Drone, 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 drone. Drone so hard. Uh-oh, early supply block by Dirtypenguin. Oh, never mind, that's just the standard supply block. And he is going to go for a double supply depot, though. That's probably, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but you usually want to build the barracks. You don't need that second supply depot for quite some time. And so now this drone is going to be able to get in, which isn't a big deal. If you get scouted as a Terran, that's not anything to worry about, but he's not going to get in. Although this SCV's life might be short-lived. Nope, the drone's attacking the barracks and not the SCV, so everything's going to be fine and dandy. And even a second SCV came here to continue the building if it gets canceled, or repair if it needs to be repaired, or any of that. So everything's looking good so far. We did have a pool first from Haszero, which is not standard play, but he could be doing some kind of maybe speedling expand, or, well, obviously not, he doesn't have a gas yet, but maybe something along those lines, or just a pool first early expansion build. Maybe we're seeing that too. So patch first against Terran is standard, but you know, doesn't necessarily mean you have to do that. Especially if you want some early ling pressure or something like that. But if you want to defend against like a bunker rush or proxy 2 racks, then you're better off doing a hatch first. But we are going to get some early lings, and we'll see if that's just for scouting or if there's going to be some early aggression here from Haszero. Now we're kind of coming along now for Dirtypenguin. He's getting the barracks down now that a few supply depots have gone down. This is something you generally want to avoid when you're playing StarCraft. Especially at lower levels. A lot of people do this. They'll overbuild supply buildings, which of course is better than underbuilding supply buildings, but you know, these depots could have been an earlier barracks, an earlier marine, and stuff like that. You could have cut out a lot of these delays, and if you have all these extra minerals invested in supply you don't need, then you could have had more production facilities and ultimately more units. But the important thing is we're not getting supply blocked. So generally as Terran, not that I play Terran very often, I did play the first round of this tournament as Terran, just kind of as a troll, just because somebody had a buy and I wanted to give them even more of a buy by playing my Terran. But when I start building supply depots, I try to just do it one after the other and not really stop, but you know, that's when I need them. So anyways, moving along, let's see what we got going on over here for Haszero. Double gas over here at the expansion, and double gas at the main too. So 4 gases at 6 minutes, which is a tad bit early. I think double gas at 6 minutes is good. I think 4 gases at 6 minutes is a little bit early. Maybe if you're going to do 4 gas at the same time, you're probably fine with waiting until about 6:30-ish. So his drone count is pretty good. He could use some more drones, and that's the reason why I said that the drone count might be a little bit too early. I mean, the gases might be a little bit too early. It's because he's not fully saturated on both bases, which you want to do when getting your gases, if at all possible. Of course, if you're going for early speed or banelings, then that's not possible. But it looks like Haszero is going for a more of a macro-oriented build style, which I like a lot. He's also not taking a third, which I think is great because from his view, he can see very clearly that there's no expansion right now from Dirtypenguin. So playing on 2 bases is just fine. The injects aren't too terrible. They could be cleaned up a little bit, but not too big of a deal. We do have the roach horn and a couple spines coming down. A few more barracks coming for Dirtypenguin and this factory. Where we're going to see some Hellion fiasco going on here. So Reactor Hellion is actually a little bit late. If you're going to go for that Reactor Hellion harass style, then you're going to want to get that factory out earlier and get those pumping out really early. I do like the style. I think it would be really deadly against Terran. It's very hard to deal with, I know for me, as Zerg, with a lot of Hellion harass. But I think at this point it's just too late. We have spine crawlers down. We have enough tech. We can build roaches to stop that and all that. But this is a good Overlord spread that we're seeing from Haszero. He has, look at this, almost the entire map. And so you can see that instantly that he's moving out. And so the reaction from Haszero that we might see, we should hopefully see a little bit of reaction. We have some roaches coming out. But that's about it. I would kind of react a little bit more if I was Haszero and not do things like begin upgrades at this point. I think right now when you know an attack is coming, it's a little bit too late for upgrades. You should be pumping out units, focusing on your injects, and just getting ready, maybe throwing down a couple spines, just getting ready for this attack that you know is coming because you have such good map control. You can see it coming from all the way across the map. But this is a very small army compared to Hazero's, so all that, of course, isn't necessary, but it is good practice to get into to prepare for an incoming attack. Especially as Zerg, you want to be very reactionary. If at all possible, you don't want to build very many units at all until you have to. And then you see the attack coming, and then you can prepare for it. But this is looking very good for Haszero. He has about 24 supply lead right now, but he has this 2 base that he's had this entire game so far, and Dirtypenguin hasn't even really thought about expanding yet. He's going to build a second factory, but we're getting to the point now where I think this is just too many production facilities off of 1 base, and he's building the second factory, but not producing even out of the first one. So a little bit of a sloppy play from Dirtypenguin right now, just because you know, there's some misproduction. So he could have a bigger army. He also has these double engineering bays that aren't being upgraded. We're still at 0-0 upgrades. So this is another thing that could have been skipped to have more units out right now, have an expansion out right now, stuff like that. Again, we are seeing some missed injects from Haszero. Usually whenever I notice something like that, whenever I say, looks like we have a missed inject here, then that's right about the time where they happen to catch it and hit the inject. So I always have good timing in that aspect. So as you see, the supply lead just getting bigger and bigger from Haszero. He did put some spores down, which was a little bit blind. He doesn't really know what's going on. I don't think he has any reason to know what he has coming, which maybe is why maybe he never got a good view, so he doesn't know what's going on. I would probably sack an Overlord at this point, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe between like the 6 and 10 minute mark, just to see what he has going on, to see if he's doing some kind of Cloak Banshee play, which he'd be able to see that he is not. Here we go, we're going to bust in. And he does have Tunneling Claws and Burrow, it looks like, so looks like he's not going to use that. I think he probably could at this point. Burrow, and there he goes. Okay, so we should have a scan to get some free kills on some roaches, but we're not going to get the scan, oh no. So these roaches will be able to crawl their way over to the mineral line. And what I want to look for right now is something in bronze level games is that you don't see, well, stuff like this is going on. You don't need to watch your roaches move all the way to the mineral line. You can just right click there and then come back, hit your injects, do a macro cycle, and then they should be right about there and ready to pop back up again. So that's something to look for in your own play if you're watching your, wow, that was a great split. Wasn't super necessary probably, but it was still a nice little split action there. I think actually all the roaches being used for this army would have been a better idea, since they're pretty equal in size, but not anymore. Haszero does have the 1/1 upgrades, and Dirtypenguin is still on the 0/0, so these roaches are just going to eat through this bio force. And with the numbers that are pumping in from Haszero, that's going to be the game. And Dirtypenguin will move on to the losers bracket, and Haszero will move on to the winners bracket. We'll catch you for the next game.